If you ever want to have like the best time of your life reading a novel, pick up one of Terry Pratchett's. He's the creator of the Discworld series. This is a series entirely set in a fantasy land, and it's all for laughs. It's comic fantasy. So he takes he takes traditional fantasy tropes and turns them on their heads. This one is set entirely in Ankh-Morpork, which is like the main city in this world. And the main characters are the City Watch. Sam Vimes is the captain. Carrot is the new recruit who who reads the entire rule book and regulations and memorizes them. And he starts changing everything, because at first the City Watch just is so lenient and like not doing anything. They're cynical. They don't want to really help out because they see no point. The city is run by a patrician who has absolute power, and this cult wants him dead, and they want to take over. So what they do is summon a dragon to, you know, to inspire fear in the city. The dragon decides he wants to be king. So that's the whole plot of the novel. The City Watch is trying to find out who summoned the dragon and try to stop him from destroying everything. And I wanted to start with this one because this is the first novel I read in this series, and I just instantly got hooked. We got assigned this novel in a science fiction and fantasy class at my college, and the I was laughing out loud at some of the moments in this book, especially towards the end when one of the villains dies. He dies so hilariously, you'll never forget. And I don't want to spoil what happens because it came as such a surprise. That's why I was laughing so hard. Like, I can't believe he did that. But yeah, this series is like the most fun series I've ever read, because you don't have to take it too seriously. You can just dive into any one of these novels and don't even worry about continuity, because he rarely brings up what happens in another one of the books. Cause you know because you can follow any one of these characters and have the greatest time. Like, there's so many crazy characters in this series. Like there's witches. There's a wizard who's incompetent. There's a librarian who's an orangutan. I mean, I could go on. There's Death as one of the characters, and there's a couple of novels that center around him. And there's a hot dog vendor who's like a minor character, but he shows up in a bunch of the novels, and he sells this terrible food, but people keep buying it. So it's satirical stuff, in in as much as it plays with the tropes of fantasy, um like the hero who the reluctant hero, and the hero who finds out he's the heir to the throne. And there's even some that play on Shakespeare. Like, there's one that's about, it's sort of like Macbeth with the three witches and everything. And then there's another one that's about vampires. There's all kinds of novels in this. There's one about a man starting up a newspaper in this fantasy land, which is hilarious. And also another one uh, where it's called Moving Pictures, where it's pretty much about Hollywood and making movies, but it's it's like cameras cameras in this world are used by people who have imps. The imps draw the pictures and make them move. Uh, there's just so much I could go into with this series. But this is the first one I read, and it got me, like I said, it got me hooked immediately. But also, like I said, you could pick up any one of these and just get right into it. It's that good. This writer was a genius.